Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, everybody? What's good with y'all? Miami Monday is back. Miami Monday is back. Also, you guys know I do Seminar Wednesday and I do Gator Friday. So yeah, as you guys know, man, season is almost among us. The off season has been a little while, kind of on the safe end for Miami. Recruitment, all that good stuff. We've been landing some of the top players in the country. And obviously, there's some big fish still out there, some huge targets that Miami's still trying to land. So we're gonna get into it tonight. As you guys know, all these shows, Miami Monday. Tonight's show is focused on the Miami Hurricane. We're gonna try not to, you know, talk or mention the other teams or whatever. We're gonna focus on what Miami's got going on. But as you guys know, this is Big 3T2Y, the number one channel for trash talking. The number one channel for trash talking amongst the big three. So won't be surprised if you see some Florida State guys in the chat, some, Gator fans in the chat. They're all welcome. Nobody will block you. Nobody will mute you and all that. I will put a link in the chat for you guys to come on and basically speak your mind on the team going into, August, going into this August 31st to be exact. The Miami Hurricanes will take their trip to Gainesville, their first game on the road in the swamp versus the Florida Gators. Yes, or I would like to call them the Baby Lizards. The Baby Lizards, man. So let me go ahead and get this boom box off the screen so we can start getting into it tonight. Let me go ahead and stop sharing that. All right, so yeah, man. I got the roster. We're gonna go over it, but also we're gonna talk a little bit of recruiting. There are still some guys on the board that Miami should be going after. Miami, obviously, want some commitment out of these guys. Try to round up the 2025 class. I mean, so far so good. We're gonna take a look at the guys that we do have already, and some of the major targets. Right now, Miami's sitting at 17 commitments. 17 commitments. We're going to talk about all of them tonight. And like I said, do me a huge favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the channel. Also, we're broadcasting on Twitter, not just on YouTube, but Twitter also. So yeah. Also, if you guys want to support the channel, you guys can hit the super chat button right here on YouTube in the chat, or you can hit the Cash App at the bottom of the screen. It's all there for you, no pressure. So, all right, let me pull up the link so I can put it in the chat for those of you guys that do wants to come on and join in on the conversation. Like I said, you're more than welcome, even if you're a Florida State fan, even if you're a Florida Gator fan. But the topic is Miami. So the link is in the chat for those of you guys that do want to join in on this conversation tonight. I know plenty of you guys, want to come on and hear your thoughts and opinions, not just listen to mine. So, all right, let me move this on over here real quick. Make a quick adjustment. All right, so let me toss this graphic up here on the screen for you guys. I'm going to get out the way and toss this graphic up there for you guys so we can have a visual. So you guys can kind of see what I'm looking at. Depth chart. So we're looking at the depth chart. We're looking at what Miami has in place going into this season. Also, what I love about this website, it basically breaks down all the team, has all their stats, all the information in one place. Basically, your whole depth chart, what they've done and what they haven't done. They grade them out and all that good stuff. And also, it grades out your positional groups. Have them all in there, ready to go. So we're going to dive into it now. Obviously, going into this season, Miami got some questions, that you guys want answered. And the most I've seen so far is basically just secondary safety. As you guys know, Cam Kitchens and James Williams, they're moved on to the NFL. They got drafted. So obviously those are two big names to fill. They've been doing their thing at Miami for the past couple of years now. So, we got to replace them. Then there's the TVD thing where, he's no longer here at the end of the season. Didn't even stay for the bowl game or anything like that. He was actually on the sideline of Wisconsin in their bowl game, already in the Wisconsin jersey. At the time, it was number 10. I don't know if he changed his number, but TVD is no longer here. A few other guys is no longer here. Don Chaney, the running back, transferred to Louisville. Then you have a few more other guys that hit the transfer portal. Good luck to them wherever they land, wherever they landed, I should say. And, but we full steam ahead. First game of the season for the Hurricanes. You got the Florida Gators, a mid-level SEC team right now. They're not the Gators of the Tebow era or the early, 2000 era or whatever. This team is basically on hot seat. Billy's on hot seat. So obviously, I do think that Miami is a much better team than the Florida Gators. If you look at roster, if you look at positions, if you look at production-wise, all that good stuff, transfer portal, addition, everything, the Miami Hurricanes are a better team than the Florida Gators, plain and simple. Vegas even sees it like that. Yes, we're going into the swamp, not as an underdog, but a favorite. So obviously, Billy Napier don't really have much production, much hype, much anything really going into the season. The main question for him is, can he actually keep his job? And unfortunately for him, he plays a Miami Hurricane team that's, pretty stacked this year. So yeah, let me see who's all in the chat. 863 Seminole TV, what's going on? He said, damn, y'all lost all of the best players. That's crazy. I mean, that's tough. I mean, I can say the same about Florida State now. You guys lost all 10 of your mercenaries. I meant 9 of your mercenaries. One of them actually went to Florida State from the beginning. He didn't come in as a transfer. That's tough. Shout out to Cooper, though. He learned the ways of Norvell. He had to become a transfer. Had to transfer to Colorado and transfer back to get some playing time. That's tough. But anywho, who all's in the chat? Marcus, what's good, my boy? So y'all better not lose to UF. No excuses. Right. I hope we don't. Peanut in the building. He's spamming green faces. I can't really see the faces right now. He's spamming green faces. I do have my phone, so I can check that out. Yeah, that's tough. Marcus in the building. Who else? Let me do a quick roll call real quick. Guys, get in the comment section. Let me know who all's in here. Let me get it out the way. Some greetings, some shout outs and all of that. Ant 305 in the building. Greetings 63-3. Shout out to Ant. every live show, every video I've seen Ant commented the 63-3. He won't let you Florida State guys let it up. He's gonna forever make you guys remember 63-3, even though you guys want to pretend like the game never happened and your whole team didn't show up and blah blah blah, this, that, and the third. No excuses. 63-3 is absolutely shameful. Disgusting. Ham 8850, what's good with you? Bahamas in the building, what's good with you? All right, so yeah, like I said, guys, get in the comment section. D1999, what's good with you? All right, so yeah, so the teams, the first 6 games for Miami is going to be on the, I want to say mid of a challenge. I don't really consider the Florida Gators to be a challenge, even though it's in the swamp and everything like that. Looking at their team up and down, I think it'll be a test for Miami, but not one of them hard tests. One of them tests that you could barely study for and you can still ace it. That's the Florida Gators to me. Maybe I'm being a fan, or maybe I'm overlooking them and all that, but I don't see nothing to fear when it comes to the Florida Gators. They do get some key pieces though, so we do gotta watch the receiving room and see how it turns out this year. They lose Ricky Pearsall, but they also brought in like two other transfer portal guys to pair with Trey Wilson. So other than that, I don't really see anything on their roster to really fear. Montrell Johnson is not one of those running backs that you're like, oh man, he's going to go for 1,000 this year. Oh man, he could, at any given time go for 200-300 or even 150 in a game. He's not one of those backs. I think him and ETN was kind of like a compliment to each other. ETN is gone. ETN will be at Georgia. I think this season, that's probably going to be one of the most watched games. Florida versus Georgia. Not because of Florida, because Florida's going to absolutely be terrible, but more to see what ETN does to him. That's just me. I'm pretty sure a lot of fans out there want to see what ETN does to, Florida. But nonetheless, not fearing their running back group, not fearing their receivers, linebackers group, maybe a little above average, but somewhat average. Their safeties and corners, a little bit of averageness. So defense, a little bit of averageness. Offense as a total is average. Everything about Florida is average. So going into this game, I'm not really. I don't have any fear. I really don't have any fear against Florida. Plain and simple. So Miami, as you guys know, our quarterback Cam Ward, one of the top quarterbacks in the country, he's already getting Heisman, hopes and candidacy and all that good stuff that comes along with all season until the game's got to get played. So I think as long as Cam can stay healthy, I think this will be a very productive season for him at the University of Miami. He do have some weapons. Not to say that he didn't have any at Washington State, but he won't have them at the caliber of a Miami. So we'll see. Obviously, one of the most reliable receivers in the country in Xavier Restrepo. He'll have him at slot. So I expect big things out of, Xavier Restrepo this season. I also expect big things out of number 3, Jacoby George. And the third guy, somebody just going to have to step up in that position. A lot of hopes are being, tossed the way of Isaiah Horton. So we'll see how that goes, but Miami has weapons. At quarterback. We do have some backup guys, some guys with experience. We did lose a couple guys in here and there, but one to mention, Jakari Brown ended up leaving the Hurricanes to go up to UCF. Good luck to him up there. We did bring in Reese Poffenberger to back up Cam Ward. Cam Ward, initially was going to go to the NFL draft and all that good stuff. Basically saw the draft for what it was and decided, let me go ahead and spin it again in college, and Miami Hurricane is where it landed. Beating out none other than the Florida State Seminoles. Basically forced them to have to take DJU. That's tough. But, yeah, Cam Ward, one of the top-rated quarterbacks in the country. As long as he can stay healthy, Miami should be very productive in that position. As you guys know, we had our woes last year with Tyler Van Dyke and all of the turnovers. Plain and simple, turnovers. Turnovers literally derailed our whole season last year. We started off well, then we had the whole fiasco with the Georgia Tech, take a knee, Mario. Take a goddamn knee, Mario. But nonetheless, after that, everything went downhill. TVD went from, beating Texas A&M, moving forward. We might have a great season. And then all of a sudden, all of the interceptions and the staring down receivers and the turnovers and the whole season just went to trash, garbage, pursuit. It is what it is. So it's good to have a quarterback with some, real hope, someone that can actually read zone and all that good stuff. But you know what? This is not the TVD bashing show. So we're going to keep moving. We did bring in Damian Martinez, running back from out there, Oregon State. Very productive last season. 195 attempts for, almost 1,200 yards and 9 touchdowns. So this is a guy that, pretty polished. You know, he's going to bring that veteran present to the University of Miami. You know, as you guys know, throughout the spring, Mark Fletcher hasn't participated because he's dealing with an injury. It's not quite sure if we're going to have him this season, but nonetheless, if we do have him, then you know the workload won't be all on him. You know, and let's not forget that we do have some other guys in the room too, in the AJ Allen, some younger guys too, some guys that you know might need a little bit of experience here and there. In a Chris Johnson, we brought in Chris Wheatley Humphrey, so we do got some backs that are pretty solid, speed wise and everything like that. Jay Freeman, what's going on? How you doing, my dude? Jay Smith, what's good with you, boss? Okay, so the running back room we're pretty solid. It's obvious that if Mark Fletcher is healthy, I think that it'll be a 1-2 punch with him and Damian Martinez, and of course the other guys get rotated in and stuff like that. We do have a, you know, we do have a running back room by committee. You know, you also got some guys that you know just touched campus. You got a Chris Wheatley Humphreys. You also got one of the best running back in the state of Florida last season that you know was originally committed to Ohio State, but Miami flipped him. So in the Jordan Lyle, so you know he's coming in. He's looking like he's you know college ready and everything like that. So those are guys that you know could come in and you know make an impact on the room pretty early, but I wouldn't say their assignment load is going to be heavy. Obviously, I think, you know, bringing in a veteran like Damian Martinez, you know, pushes our room, you know, to a whole nother level. And especially if, you know, the running back room can stay healthy all season, which we haven't really had that in a while. So it's good to have great backs in that room. Chris, what's going on with you? All right. So receiving wise, going into the season, like I said, Miami added a few pieces. Miami went into the portal and got a couple guys. Samuel Brown, you know, transferred in from Houston. So that's another piece. Then obviously, you know, you got two freshmen that came in, and Nightcar and Joe Sada Trader. Those two guys could make an impact right away. We got Xavier Restrepo, of course, Jacoby George, and Isaiah Horton. Those are probably your projected three starters going into the season. And, you know, the other guys will kind of, you know, battle for, you know, rotation. So I like where we stand right now as in, you know, running back room and wide receivers. Not to mention the tight ends. The tight ends, kind of crazy to say, but we got a guy going into if I'm not mistaken, this is like his 9th season, probably unheard of to be honest at college. But Cam McCormick, he's back again. He's more of a blocking tight end than you know a pass catcher or whatever, but he's back again this season. Got a guy that most people are looking at to see if he can have a breakout season is your guy Elijah Arroyo. So those are guys to pay attention to, and also can't forget the freshman guy that's been making a huge splash this all off season in Elijah Lofton. Guy that's versatile, could play you know multiple positions, but whew, man, we loaded. I'm telling you, we loaded. And the offensive line, don't even get me started on that. We're loaded in that position too. So this season, looking at our schedule and looking at what we have in place, I think Miami's gonna make a little mini run this year. Not saying we're going, you know, win championships or anything like that. I think we're in the process of, you know, being elite and actually competing. And I think this season is going to be a step in that right direction. Henry, what's going on with you? Say Canes for life, baby. FS Pool, get out of here. I see you, my guy. All right. OG, what's good with you? What's good with you, boss? Okay. So recruiting wise, Miami's been turning up recruiting. It's a couple pieces out there that we're still going after that we're awaiting their decision and their commitment. Some of them will make their decision sometime next week or going into the week after. So we kind of get a visual of what the class is going to look like. Some major pieces, some top guys making their decision. You got DJ Pickett, 5-star safety. He's making his decision. That one is coming down to Miami, LSU, and Oregon. So those are teams that could wind up getting them in the class. Georgia's in there, but I don't really think Georgia's a factor in that. But you know what? You can never count out Kirby. His decision, I think, will be made on the 17th of this month. Also, another guy, another DB that's making his decision, Jabari Antoine. That one will come down between LSU, Miami, and Florida State, which, in my opinion, I think he's a Hurricane. I honestly think it's a Miami and Florida State battle based on what he had said. So Miami and Florida State, they're pushing the line to see who can get them. So it's either, roll with Mike Norvell or roll with, Mario Cristobal. But I think he'll definitely be a Hurricane. It is what it is. Did decommit from LSU, was originally committed to LSU, so not quite sure what the relationship is between them. Sometimes people do decommit and then they actually go back to those schools. So we'll see. Kendrick, what's good with you? He said, I see Cam was practicing with Shador and Drone again. Cam looking sharp. Yeah. So there's a video floating around, Cam at practice, him and Shador, them, they having little friendly conversations or whatever, this, that, and the third, competitive nature, all that good stuff. So sometime later on in the video, I'll probably pop that up so you guys can see it firsthand. But yeah, Cam said he was late to the whole meeting or whatever, but he felt like the whole practice or whatever that they had going on, the whole meetup and all that, he got better. So that's all that matters, man. It's great to see videos though of elite quarterbacks, elite guys getting together, working out. It's not the first or anything like that. It's nothing new, but it's refreshing to see, a Hurricane quarterback putting in this much work in the off season. So future's bright. Like I'm hoping and thinking. So some guys that's still on the board out there for the University of Miami. We talked about DJ Pickett. He's on the board still. We talked about Jabari Antoine. He's still on the board. Jabari Antoine, he'll make his decision on July 20th. He announced that today on Twitter, so he'll make his decision pretty soon. Edge, Espinosa, not quite sure when he'll make his decision, but hopefully pretty soon, and hopefully it's Miami. We'll see how that goes. Oh, also, guys, and you gotta know, this past season we played Miami of Ohio. The Battle of the Miamis. Who the real Miami? Well, it's been announced today that in 2027, the Miami Hurricanes will take on none other than Utah, the Utes. Those guys up there, they throwing up the U, but they got theirs shaped like an L. So obviously you guys will know what's going to come with that. Who's the real U? So basically, Miami versus Utah, 27. Who's the real U? That's going to be the theme. We already know it, but they announced that game will be played in Las Vegas, by the way, in Las Vegas. So I'm thinking it'll be a week 1 game in Las Vegas, Miami versus Utah. Canes fans, prepare yourself. I know the angle of the trolls because I troll myself. They're going to come with the Mario at Oregon. He couldn't beat Utah. Utah beat him twice and blown him out in the Pac-12 championship and this and the third. So, they're going to come with those angles. So prepare yourself. Just prepare yourself. Jeffrey in the building, what's good with you? He says 63-3 daily reminder. Y'all gonna give these Florida State fans nightmares, man. They try to put it behind them, but y'all just keep bringing it up. All right, so um, yeah, we talk about the edge. He's up there in Iowa, so hopefully we get him five-star edge rusher. Hopefully, get him in there. We talked about DJ Pickett. There's a five-star lineman from the state of Georgia. Looked like it's going to come down to a Miami and Georgia battle for him. I feel good where Miami's at right now, but those in-state guys, those guys normally become Georgia Bulldog, and the way that Georgia's been rolling lately, it's a challenge. It's a challenge, but Miami feel good where they're at in his recruitment. So we're just gonna see whenever he make his decision. As of right now, we don't really have a time or anything set for when he will make that decision, but this one might goes deep into the season. So obviously Miami's got to perform because a lot of the targets that we are going after, that's not really making an early decision. Those guys will be watching. So Elijah Griffin, five-star defensive lineman, 6'5", 285 pounds. That's a huge get if Miami do have him in this class. Another guy that I've been seeing that for the past week or so, or past 2 weeks, name has been mentioned a lot. Miami's pretty late in this guy's recruitment, so I'm not quite sure if we would be able to land a guy like this at this time, but you never know. Wide receiver Jerome Miles. Miami's pretty late in his recruitment. Like I said, five-star guy. This is a five-star receiver out of the state of Utah. So, 6'2", 205. It's going to be tough, man. That's going to be a tough recruitment to get into so late. So we're gonna have to see, if Miami could pull out America, but I really doubt it, to be honest with you guys. I think we just offered him on like the 26th. So that kind of show you, how far behind we would be in a guy like this recruitment. The 26th, that's when we offered him. So that's tough. That's tough. Obviously, another guy that's going to make his decision pretty soon. I'm thinking it's also on the 17th or the 18th, if I'm not mistaken. He'll be making this decision. This is a guy that could possibly go to Penn State, Ohio State, UCF, and of course Miami. Jaquez Carter, 6'2", 285 pound, defensive lineman. So we're gonna see how that goes. But he's making his decision pretty soon. Like I said, it's either on the 17th or the 18th. Can't really remember off the top of my head or whatever, but it's one of those days, 17th or the 18th of this month. Another receiver Miami's going after heavily. He's committed to the University of Oregon. Dallas Wilson, five-star receiver. Yes, Miami's been in his recruitment for a while now. 6'3", 190. He's pretty close to making a decision. But as of right now, we really don't have any updates on that. Obviously, he's still committed to the University of Oregon. So this might goes down to, National Signing Day. Will he stick to Oregon? Will he flip to Miami? And, these are basically the ones that you got to watch how the season go. Could Miami be having a great season? Could he see something in that receiving room? The way that, Coach Beard is coaching them up. Maybe he sees the position that he plays doing pretty well and can see himself playing that role. But nonetheless, Dallas Wilson. Dallas Wilson is one of those guys to pay attention to. Also, still for the Miami Hurricanes. Kane Zay, what's good with you, boss? Okay, so a cornerback, Ben Hanks Jr. I think he's a legacy, a Florida Gator legacy. This is a guy that Miami is going after also. Is at Booker T. Washington. He's a corner. I'm not quite sure if we pull this one off. The Gators are heavily recruiting him, with the whole alumni thing. It might give them an edge or so, but I wouldn't be surprised, knowing how Mario recruit, knowing how this coaching staff recruit, and knowing the uncertainties at Florida right now. So it's it's just one of those that you just got to sit back and watch. But if he does become a Miami Hurricane, he does come into the Hurricanes. Gator fans, watch yourself because the trolling's gonna be heavy. I'm just gonna tell you that now. Watch yourself. All right, let's keep it moving. Another Gator, another Gator. Varnell Brown. I think this one probably I think he'll probably end up being a Gator. This is another Gator legacy. Ohio State, Miami, Florida's still in the mix. Even Florida State think they got a bid or a say so in this one. So we're gonna end up seeing where he, end up. This is a guy that plays for the South Florida Express in the 7-on-7 leagues or whatever. So tremendous running. I'm sorry, tremendous wide receiver. Huge for any team that end up getting him. Plain and simple. Running back, Brian Lewis. Brian Lewis. Another one. So those are pretty much the targets that Miami's, some of the top targets that Miami's going after. If we don't end up getting them, there are some other guys, in place that could possibly join the class. Miami's not just getting guys just to get them, just to fill spots. As you guys know, college football has made the turn for the transfer portal. So obviously, you got to recruit both now. You can't just recruit high school, but you got to recruit through the transfer portal also. So Miami's not going to just go out and get any guys just to fill up a class. So there we are. There we are. All right, so I'm going to put the link in the chat again for anybody that wants to come in and give their thoughts and opinion. The first game of the season, Miami versus the Florida Gators. What's your thoughts and opinion? Are you guys afraid of anything? Do you guys think we win the game? Can Miami go into the swamp and dominate? Not just win the game, but dominate. Can we go in there and just punch the Gators right in the mouth and get out of there with a huge win? Y'all getting the hit the link. Come on in. We can have this conversation. All right. So let's go down to the defense. Let's talk about the secondaries. So obviously this season, I know there's a lot of concerns around, our secondaries, our, DBs, but I think we're in great position going into the season. Guys that's transferred in that could get the job done, obviously. And with our front seven, I don't think we'll be dependent on, our secondaries and DBs as much as, people think we will. Obviously, a guy like, Trey Wilson for Florida, speedy guy that could get open, guy that could, move the ball if, given a space, can, bust the field wide open. So obviously we're going to have to contain those guys. But as long as we get pressure on Graham Mertz, I think we'll be just fine. Now, if you look at Graham Mertz as a quarterback, he don't normally turn the ball over, but he also don't really take shots down the field. If you look at most of his completions, they're dink and dunks, they're, screen passes and stuff like that. So not really concerned about, him too much. I think Miami's going to force the issue with the front. So we obviously got to cover the short passes because when you look at stats, he don't throw the ball more than 20 yards pretty often. I think he only connected like 39 of those last year, which is real low amongst all quarterbacks. So that's something to look at. Now, Florida offensive line last season was absolutely terrible. And this season they did make some improvement, but I don't think it's as significant as they think it's going to be. I think they're in those stages where, the rebuild is really going to affect them. They're not getting the offensive linemen that they think they should, or they think that they could. The logo don't pull weight like it used to. So also with Billy's uncertainty, it's hard for them to even recruit this season. As you guys know, Florida right now, last time I checked, they were like 69 in recruiting, 67. They were like 67 in recruiting. Nobody wants to, basically commit. Nobody knows the certainty of their coaching staff. Will they even be there after this season? So they're hoping and praying that they have a good season and they could flip some of the targets that they did went after. Anthony, what's going on with you, boss?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's good with you?
Honestly, I've been saying this. I don't. I'm surprised Lagway was that loyal to, like, he hasn't decided to transfer out.
Well, with Lagway, he hasn't really seen any football yet in college, so I don't necessarily think he would transfer out the first season. I think, given what they got at quarterback with Graham Mertz, I think he sees early playing time. I don't think they're gonna blow out anybody. I do think mid-season probably they're gonna start pulling, Graham Mertz, because if you look at their schedule, there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of games that I think he's just not going to be in it. And I think Billy and those boys are really going to start experimenting. So whether or not they
No,
have
but
packages,
what I'm saying is, if Billy starts 0-4, he's not going to be the coach.
yeah, I don't see him starting on for just looking at their schedule. I don't see it. They'll lose to Miami the first game, but I think they got like
1-3, maybe.
I think they got like Sanford in there somewhere, or they got Texas A&M, who's not like top caliber. They just fired Jimbo Fisher and all that, so new coaching staff and everything like that. So I don't necessarily see them losing all those games, the first four, but it's a possibility. It's
No,
a
no,
possibility.
no, no. I meant to say they start 3-1. Who they start their SEC schedule early, right?
No, so they start off. The only team they play early is Texas A&M. So they'll play Miami. They'll play Sanford. I think it's. They'll also play Texas A&M and then UCF. So those are their first four. They'll only play one SEC team in the first four games.
If okay, if of course if they lose to Miami, that's probably a given. But if they lose to UCF,
Oh yeah, it's over. It's over. If they lose to UCF, you might as well say Billy is canned. If he loses
because
to Miami, he loses to UCF, he's definitely going to lose to Florida State at the end of the year. Might as well just can
you
him right
think he can lose. Billy has a history of losing games he's not supposed to. Can you see him losing to Texas A&M?
I can see it. Just like 904 just said, Texas A&M got a 79% blue chip ratio. So they do have talent on that team. With the new coach, I think it's Mike Elko. I'm not seeing much of a drop off on that team. If not, I think he could possibly coach up Texas A&M a lot better than Jimbo Fisher. So we're gonna see.
I honestly, I'm gonna surprise everybody. I can see, uh, at at best, 9-4 for Texas A&M because I don't think they play Bama, right?
I'm not quite sure. I don't know Texas A&M's schedule.
Yeah.
I just know they got Florida in their first four games.
Do they have a tough schedule after that? Florida?
Um, Florida after Texas A&M, they take on UCF.
No, after UCF. I'm saying after the first four
Hold on, let me see if I can pull their schedule. I don't have it on the back.
because the SEC is gonna be. I think they play Texas and Oklahoma this year.
Who, Florida? No, they play Texas, not Oklahoma. Yeah, they don't play Oklahoma this year. They only play Texas.
Uh,
Texas, Georgia, those two teams are definitely gonna beat them.
do they
Uh,
play anybody from the SEC West, like Bama, LSU, Auburn?
let me pull their schedule so I can tell you. I can tell you. I don't want to do the guessing games. Move that over
Yo,
here.
Zay, what's up?
All right.
How embarrassing does the blowout have to be for Florida at in the swamp by Miami for Billy to get get fired after the Miami game?
45 to 10.
I can't
Some some
remember.
some around there, 45 to 10 or something like that. Get blown out. If they lose by 3 score or more, their fans gonna be outraged. But I don't think that's the end all be all for Billy that season. I think it all depends on after that game where he goes. Now, obviously, if they do end up beating Miami, their fans gonna be like, over
Miami's
over the
overrated.
top. They're gonna be feeling like they could beat everybody else on their schedule. They're gonna feel like they're the greatest team in college football. This, that, and the third. Okay, so I got their schedule pulled. So first game of the season, Miami. Then they play Stanford, so they could end up 1-1 right there. They'll definitely beat Stanford. Then they take on Texas A&M at home, and then they go to Mississippi State. Then they're on a bye week. Then they play UCF at home. Then they
So
travel
they
to
have
Tennessee.
two SEC teams at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, two of them. So Texas A&M and Mississippi State. Then they play
Wait, do they stay? Is Mississippi State in going to Mississippi State, or are they
yeah at Mississippi State.
okay?
So
That probably a lot. If it's a road game, yeah, I think they lose that
yeah, so you
because
know
the Kiffin's the Mississippi State coach.
now need I remind you, Florida's finished the season last year on a 5 game losing streak. They could possibly be looking at the same thing this season. Obviously, Georgia, Texas at Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, and Florida State, which are all teams right now that are pretty much better than the Florida Gators. Pretty much all the teams that's listed outside of maybe Texas A&M, Mississippi State, and UCF. All those teams are pretty much better than Florida. Kentucky's better than Florida. Tennessee's better than Florida. They're in better shape than Florida. Florida's got one of the youngest team in the country last year, and you know that's where they're based. The younger guys, they're hoping that their experience, comes into this season and it's a lot better, and they get more production and all that. So their whole season is just banking off, hopes and dreams, ifs and maybes.
683 is like this sounds like trash versus ass. The first game of the season.
Man, that's tough. Oh man, that's tough right there. B Bean, what's good with you? B Bean, a Gator fan. 2024 schedule. He posted it. Kiffin at Ole Miss, not Mississippi State. Um, yeah, Kiffin's at Ole Miss. Who said he's at Mississippi State?
No, I thought he was. I thought he was at Mississippi State.
Nah, he's at Ole Miss. All right, so Miami schedule. Let's stop talking about them Gators because that's a sure win for Miami in week 1, in my opinion. If we got that, might as well go ahead and lock it in. Miami for the win. Vegas might as well push it to Miami by 10. even more. Go ahead and make the spread a little bit higher because let's just be honest, we're a better team than them. But first game of the season, Florida. I think we handle business in the swamp to kick the season off. Um, Obviously, the next week will be a lot easier in you know Florida and A&M. That should be a way easier game.
BB says, 2014, 2024 schedule for Florida: win Miami, win Stanford, loss Texas A&M, win at Mississippi State, win at UCF, Tennessee loss. Oh, you guys, he has them losing to Kentucky. That's embarrassing right there.
Well, did you see what Ray Davis did to him last year? He ran for goddamn 3,000 yards on him, and then you had Daniels from LSU ran for put up like 700 yards on him. So it won't be surprising to me. All right, so then Miami take on Ball State, and
Win.
we're gonna go to USF this year up there in Tampa. That should be another win. Now Virginia Tech, a lot of people are concerned about Virginia Tech. A lot of production coming back for them. A lot of guys returning. They're saying that they could possibly be a good team this year. I'm not really concerned. Now this is a home game, a Friday night game for Miami, 7:30 ESPN on September 27th. So that might be one of those games that would be considered a challenge. Um, I'm not really concerned, but we're definitely going to see what this team is made of. Obviously, 5 games into the season, we'll see if Virginia Tech is actually living up to the hype that a lot of people has been giving them because of the returning production. We'll also see by then, our identity as a team. So take a trip out October 5th to California. We go to play Cal, and then we go on a bye. That's on October 5th.
So wait, how do you have us losing any of these games?
The only one that could possibly be a loss, in my opinion, is Virginia Tech. And if for some odd
you don't
reason,
think Cal could be a loss because I
no,
think we have a better chance of beating Virginia Tech because
the way Cal is set up, their team right now is not good. They're not good.
You don't think the West Coast thing is going to hurt us?
No. I don't think going to Cal is going to hurt Miami.
No. I'm saying the travel.
No, I don't think so. We travel. We travel pretty well.
Okay.
I don't think going to the West
So
Coast.
5-0.
It's not like it's going to be a cold game, snowing or anything like that. This is California. Now, here's where it gets sticky. After the Cal game, we go into a bye week, and then we go to Louisville. So that one, to me, is going to be a challenging game, depending on the status of the team by that time. Obviously, injuries happen, circumstances happen. Guys probably don't live up to the hype that was given in the offseason, that kind of deal. So Louisville, that's a game to watch out for. Florida State, another team to watch out for. Given the hype that they got, Mike Norvell got some pieces out the portal. Nothing major though. Nothing like the team he had last year with all mercenaries. That was pretty much probably the top of they position.
Mike Norvell is the extreme. To me, Dabo and Mike Norvell are the extremes of on each of the sides. Norvell uses the portal too much and doesn't recruit that well. But Dabo recruits, but he doesn't want to. He refuses to use the portal and stuff like that. Do you agree that they're two extremes on the same coin, where one you overuses the portal way too much and doesn't recruit through high school.
I don't
But
I don't see Norvell as necessarily overusing it because he has hit pretty well with the portal. He went from 5-7 to 10 wins to
no,
13.
that's what I'm saying. He had to. He won. He's not building the.
I think it's not going to hurt him though because let's just be honest, the portal is there and it's not going anywhere, and there are going to be top players jumping in there each and every year. So it's not necessarily going to be a letdown, basically.
But if you're not recruiting well in high school, doesn't that hurt your depth?
Yeah, it kind of does, but let's just be honest. He gets players out the high school. He might not get the top rated guys, but he's still getting guys out of the high school level. They might not be there in 2 years or so, but he still has those depth pieces. Obviously, you see what happens in the bowl game against Georgia when all the mercenaries decide that they're not playing, and then the high school guys that he did recruit get in, or guys that's been on the team for a little bit get in, and you see the mismatch all over the field. But I don't think necessarily, not recruiting high school is gonna, totally wreck Marvell. I think he got his system set up, so I think he'll be fine.
Yeah. So
And
how do you see the record
and
so far?
obviously their logo is good for them to get players in the league. So they're going to be attractive regardless.
Okay. Back to our record of the. How do you see the record so far
It
after
all
the bye?
it all depends.
We go
Our
undefeated
season,
into the bye.
our season basically surrounds Louisville and Florida State because I do believe Miami will win the last 4 games to me with ease. I'm not afraid of Duke, not afraid of Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, or Syracuse. None of those teams strike any kind of fear. There's no.
But Mario, what scares me, Mario has a tendency to lose a game he's not supposed to.
I don't think, like I said, I don't think that's what's going to be this season. But who knows? Right now, this whole season could be wrecked by injuries and all kind of stuff. So I'm just saying, from right now, looking at our roster versus these guys, I feel pretty comfortable. Now, if we go out there and we say lose Cam Ward, then my comfortability just basically just got sliced in half. I like Reese Poffenberger, but I don't depend on him
He's not ready.
Yeah, I wouldn't depend on him to win us 10 games at the jump. And
Yeah.
obviously, this is one of those years where the playoff system is set to where, if we run through this schedule, we could get in. And not necessarily saying that we're going to win the championship or anything, but if we could get into the playoffs, what that'll mean for recruiting and everything, and showing that Mario is basically improving every season, that'll be even more to sell to recruits and get even more top guys here. Obviously, stacking top class is great, but you got to show these kids that you can win, and then it's going to get even greater. So
yeah, no, but if we win the conference, we get an automatic bid, don't we? Like, don't we get
yeah.
one of the top
So
four?
the Power Four, which is no longer 5, obviously the Pac-12 is dissolved. There's only 2 teams left in that. So Oregon State, Washington State. So basically Power Four right now. Whoever win those conference will get an automatic bid. So the SEC, the Big 10, Big 12, ACC. Those are 4 already, and I think there's a group of 5 that they throw in there. So those are 5 spots.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the rest of it will probably fill up with a team like a Notre Dame, depending on how they do, because they're independent. So all they got to do is, at least have a decent record.
And there's 3 teams. I keep on hearing that apparently Uh, the automatic bids, like you said, are the conference championships, but uh, a group of five might get in, like you just said. But they're saying they're gonna give 10 win team, two lost teams from the ACC, SEC, and AC Big Ten more credence than teams that had the same record in the ACC and Big 12 because of the tough schedules they have. So you're gonna see
You'll probably
five,
see. You'll probably see. I want to say two teams from the Big 12, and you'll probably see like two or three teams from the SEC after the
and the Big
automatic
Ten. Don't forget the Big Ten.
automatic big. Yeah, I said two from the Big 10, probably three from the SEC, maybe even more.
Yeah, yeah. Miami has to on honestly for Miami to honestly if we're an automatic bid, honestly I don't think we're ready to beat Georgia or Alabama just yet, or even a Michigan. But if it's a team like if a Texas makes it to the championship, on I think we beat a Texas. We can't beat Georgia, Michigan, or Bama, but I think we can beat a Texas.
Yeah, me personally, I just want to see us compete. I just want to see us compete. I don't have necessarily hopes of winning the championship this season. I just want to see us
If
compete.
we do, you'd be shocked.
I'd be shocked.
Right.
Chris, what's going on with you, boss?
Hey,
What
Chris.
up with your boss, man? What's good with you? What up, Anthony? What's good with y'all, fellas, man?
Any concerns this season going up against the Gators?
Uh, nah. One thing I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna. I'm just. I just want to see us compete, like you said. I just want to see us. I want to see us beat them. You know what I'm saying? I already got people. You know. Oh yeah, we about to have some Miami stew.
Let me
We about to do this, this, and the third.
clarify. Let me clarify. I want to see us compete if we make the playoffs. I want
Right.
to see us win in the season. I want to see us win in the season. If we make the
Yeah.
playoffs, obviously it's going to be some top caliber teams and stuff like that. Depending on where we at with depth, you know, all of that. At the end, I just want to see us compete. But the season, I want us to win. I want us to dominate. They're already projecting that our offense is going to score at least 30, I think 39 and a half or more, you know, on the average. So I need to see some wins coming out of that. If we're putting up at least 40 points a game, there should be some wins. There should be some, you know, blowouts.
No excuses.
So Chris, I asked T2Y this question. I want your honest question. Like,
What's
how
up?
bad? Looking from the perspective of a non-fan, how bad of a blowout does it have to be in the swamp for Florida to fire Billy Napier after the first game?
60 points.
60 points, you think? So you think if the Hurricanes score like beat them like 75-3, Billy's gone?
He said 75-3.
If
I'm
we beat,
exaggerating. I'm just using that.
if we beat them, okay. To be realistic, I don't think that we are really the main focus, but we are a focal point. And let me elaborate on that. Like we are a rival, but we don't face them like how we face Florida State or how they face Florida State every year, or how they face Georgia or Tennessee. Like if we go ahead and we beat them, that game is to set the tone for the season for both teams. Now, depending on what happens and how that outcome comes out, let's just say if they do lose, but they lose by 3 points, that's not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Or vice
Okay.
versa. But the thing is like if we go in there and we whooping their ass and we beat them by like 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, something like that, that's gonna be a problem. They're gonna be like, well, what the hell is going on here? See, this thing for them is not going to be because they lose. It's going to be how they lose.
And how embarrassing the loss is.
Exactly. Like, come on, let's just be obvious. They go against Georgia. Everybody knows in Jacksonville, everybody has Georgia objectively to win that game. But if they compete in that game and they, let's just say they lose by like maybe 7 to 10 points, that's competitive compared to what it was last year. Now, if they go out there and get blown out by Tennessee, let's say they've been beating Tennessee all of these years, and then all of a sudden they get blown out by Tennessee by like 30 points or something like that. They're gonna be some eyebrows raised. But it's not just that one. It's consistently Texas A&M, LSU. Then you got what
Ole Miss.
Kentucky, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Like, dog, you cannot be getting blown out like that. And especially, I just looked at their schedule. A lot of their games are at home. So not only are you getting blown out, you're getting blown out at home. His ass to be fired before the end of the season. Before he even go to Florida State, he won't make it to Florida State. I'm telling you, he won't. I'm telling you, you go ahead and get blown out, or here's the trick: let you go against a team that you're supposed to blow out, but they make it a competition and you win by a touchdown, like a
Mark, we're not
Southern
comparing Miami to
Georgia
Georgia.
Southern.
The we're talking about the context. We're talking
Yeah,
about a context.
no, there is no comparison between Georgia and Miami. There's two different tiers of what that is. They're the championship caliber. We're trying to get to that caliber. There is no there. That's not what we're saying. They're not on level playing fields. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is like that is an obvious thing. Like everybody knows Georgia, Florida, they're gonna play, but everybody know the depth ratio, everything like that. As far as with Georgia, they're going to be the ones to come out with the victors. That's what they're saying, and that's what's been proven from what we've gone off of from the past couple of years. You know, this ain't just hearsay from what we're saying. Look at the numbers; they don't lie. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But if they compete in that game, if they compete in these games, and let's say they do go 7-5, Billy gonna keep his job. And then again, even if they get blown out, here's a question: who they gonna get to put in there? Because then you
Mm.
paying Dan Mullen, then you paying Billy Napier, then you got to pay somebody else to come into Gainesville to take over their team after you. Because I'm sure if he doesn't make it to the end of the season and he gets fired during that season, and they bring in an interim coach, they're gonna have to pay him. But after that, then who you gonna bring in? Who else you gonna bring in? And then you got to pay him a certain amount of money for him to be there too. So you got all three of these salaries going on.
Yeah, Billy. BB says Florida's not paying Billy $25 million a year.
You said they're not paying him 25 million a year. What are you talking about? Who getting paid 25 million a year?
They talking about the buyout is 25.
Oh, 25. Hey, let me tell you something. If they fire him, they will. But that's what I'm saying. Who else are they going to bring in? Because he might have a safety net either way that it goes because the buyout is so high. You dig what I'm saying? He might have the safety net, and he might have him right where he wants them. So either way that it looks, he could have him because of the buyout. And then you got to bring somebody in there to take over for him.
No.
Who are you going to get
Actually,
to take
Chris,
over for him?
but what people forget also is Florida can have a legitimate not the performance on the field, but because he's attached, his name is attached to the booster that with the Jaden Rashada drama, they
Mm.
can actually have a legitimate excuse to void the contract, basically.
But see, you know what? With that being said, and I'm glad you brought that up. With you bringing that up and you saying that, you could have a very valid point. But that, with his name attached to it, they're going to have to fine tooth comb every single situation and fine tooth comb every layer to make sure that they can do that if they need to pull that. If they need to do that, they'll need to fine tooth comb everything. Because if they don't, and they fire him and he's not attached to that, enough or have enough evidence against him for it, and they fire him, they're gonna have to pay him that 25.
Or
No ifs, ands, or
they get
buts,
sued for liable. What's it
or,
called?
liability.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a damn if you do, damn if you don't situation there in Gainesville.
yeah. That
See,
whole Jalen Rashada
I don't
situation
see
screwed
Billy.
everything.
I don't see Billy getting fired in the season or mid-season, even if Florida is losing. I think
Right,
they would let him go through the whole season just to lower the buyout,
right.
and after that,
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. I'm just putting out a different scenario,
So
and
you
that
guys
could
think in
possibly
general
be
it's
it.
harder? It's
because
harder.
you don't want to fire Billy mid-season, and then he sit there and collect all that money while at home playing NCAA
Hey,
2025. Speaking of NCAA 2025, I want to segue into that because we got live action play. We got to watch
yes.
full play today of the NCAA 2025.
It looks
Oh
real good.
my,
I cannot wait for this. I cannot wait
oh
for this.
my God! You said it looked
I looked at
horrible.
it. It doesn't look that good.
What?
What? All right, was you watching what I was watching? Gameplay looks absolutely gorgeous.
Anthony,
No,
what was
because
you watching?
there was like the streamers that get paid to test these games were complaining that there
These
was
was
so
not
many.
these was not streamers though. This was an actual player that played.
Right. Yeah, like Donovan Edwards, who's the running back for Michigan, actually played
Like
that
as you
game.
the screen right now, that's actual gameplay. That's actually
Right.
what the game is gonna look like.
Yeah. Like this ain't don't get this confused with that modded crap, that Madden modded crap. We ain't talking about that.
Okay, I see what.
So you can
Yeah.
see they even got
This is
a catch
yeah.
meter and everything like that.
Yes. You can be blue, yellow, or red. They'll I'm telling you. It's oh my God.
Did they announce it? Did they announce how in depth the recruiting system is
Yes.
Oh,
going to be?
it's gonna be very in
Yes.
depth. It's gonna be very in
Very.
depth.
And are they
Even
going to
Every
use real names instead of like auto generated, or is it still going to be auto generated?
real names.
So they're going to use
Real
real names for recruits from high school too.
yeah,
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Why they? Oh, they are? Oh, okay.
they are.
Oh, okay. I wasn't too sure
As
about
long
that.
as long as players don't decide that they don't want to be a part of it, if you don't
Right.
want to be a part of it, then you'll get generic names or whatever. But
Hmm.
they'll probably
Like,
pull most of the recruits and stuff like that from the websites, the Post Breeders, the ESPNs, and all of those.
right.
I want to see. I want them to do a story mode, like an in depth story mode, like they do for Madden. What was that? What's the story mode called in Madden, where you're basically you're you start in high school and you're going through the draft and stuff like that. The
Um,
scouts.
I forgot the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
I hope this game has that
What
type of story mode.
is like a rags to riches?
Yeah, the racks to riches thing
Yeah.
where you're they're recruiting you from Pee Wee football and stuff like that.
Yeah. But they're going to be doing it to where you're going to play. I don't know for the road to glory. Um, I'm not too sure exactly as far as how they're going to go as far as with that, but I know you're not going to be able to play. You're not going to be too in depth with the whole high school type thing and doing all of that. You will play college. You will do that.
Oh, so you're not
But
gonna start being recruited? They're not
I
showing.
I think so. I got to look more into it because certain streamers show different things, and show different aspects of it because they was looking at it from when they was explaining it. So I have
I,
to look into it some more.
I just can't wait to play it just so I could beat Florida State 63-3.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Question.
no. What for me? I kind of wish instead of EA has since the past few Madden games haven't been that good. Like their system hasn't been that good. Like
Right.
there's been too many glitches. I kind of wish
Right.
2K the one who does NBA, because their system is way better. I kind of
Mm.
wish
But
2K did
this
it.
system is not running off of the Madden engine.
Oh, it's its own engine.
Yep.
Hmm.
Okay, I thought it was they were because these game developers want to be cheap and they use the same system sometimes.
Mm-mm. That's what everybody was worried about, it being a carbon copy. It's nothing the same.
Okay,
It's nothing the same.
Yeah.
That's
thank
what
God.
we're trying to tell you. It's not a cookie cutter with college football helmets and everything. It's not the same as Madden at all. That's why I was asking you, Anthony, was you talking about the mod? Because the mod is it has the college teams and everything,
Yeah, no, that's
but
what I was
it's
thinking of.
just but it was just what's the name? It was just it just has college teams.
Yeah, that's
That's
what I was
all.
thinking of. I was thinking of the mod system.
Mm-mm. No, completely different. Completely different. Mm-mm-mm.
The one thing I hope they do that they fix in this. There was always like weird glitches with the previous games where I can't remember what stadium I was playing in on the road where um I like all of a sudden the player falls out from the bottom. I hope they fix those glitches that they you saw in like NCAA 14 and stuff like that. Did you ever have that issue, Chris, with the old game where the
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I had an issue where the dude was wide open and the ball went right through their hands and didn't catch it. I was so hot. I was so pissed. But I know what you're talking about though. But it's not gonna be like that. Like from where they have it, their whole situation is different. It's just different. It's a whole different aspect, bro.
and I want to see what they do with the coaching, the building a building um the building a college from the ground up thing too.
Hmm.
Remember
They have
how
this.
you
I know what you're talking about. They're gonna have this thing called wear and tear, and wear and tear is gonna be, let's say, for instance, you have mm, Brock Berlin, or
yeah
no, not Brock Berlin, Brock Glenn, or if you have
Jeff George
or Klubnik or something like that from
yeah.
Clemson, and they're going against Miami or Florida State or somebody like that, and they hit him to the point where that could wear and tear on his body, and that could affect how he throws the ball and how accurately he throws the ball.
That
Same
seems
thing
like
with your
what
running,
they do with the boxing games
right? And same thing they're going to do with the running backs, everything like that.
and the receivers too.
All that plays a part.
And the are they showing that? Are they doing just for the skill positions, or are they doing it for the offensive line too?
Oh, they have a whole new thing. They have these things like how Madden has X factors. Now they have different things now. They're not X factors.
Oh, so it's not
They,
the X Factor system that you see with.
mm-mm. It's totally different. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's totally different. It's not like Madden. If anything, Madden has stepped up their game and made Madden 25 be a boom, like they got like a boomstick mode or boomstick, whatever that is they got on the new one. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be
The one
completely
thing I
revamped.
want to see that there's one aspect of the Madden games that I hope they do bring in with uh I forgot what it uh not wear and tear. What was it called? Where not the X Factor system, but you can actually choose the type of. You know how
Hmm.
when you're creating a player, you can choose what they're like if they're a superstar X Factor or something like that.
Yeah.
you can choose the level
Hmm.
of development. Are they
Hmm.
doing that? Are they bringing something similar to the game? if you're creating a player and you want to put them into
I think so. I think they're going to have a way you create a player and you can make him more elusive, where he can slide through different tackles, or they're going to make it to where you be able to truck through and just bulldoze through the tackle to get the first down. You know what I'm saying? To get the 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 tough yard or whatever you might need. They might do that.
no the prime what I'm talking the development fact is how fast the player develops, where how fast they get to the 99 rating and stuff like that, like the
Oh,
overall rating.
oh,
That's
that
what
right there.
superstar.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's gonna come from you. Basically, it's like how it is in 2K. You have to go to practice. You have to train because if you don't train, let's just say you finish the game and then you don't train for the next one that you have for the next week. Those attributes that you have from that other game, you're not going
You
to
lose
heal
them.
properly. You might lose them faster or not get them at all. You know what I'm saying? But if
So
you
it's not like
train,
Madden where they automatically transfer to the next game, basically.
yeah, basically. But the thing is like this wear and tear thing, they're not going to transfer. The more if you don't train your body for it, it'll decrease. Because Donovan Edwards showed that today. He took himself out the game because he wasn't his running, he was wearing and tearing. He was running the ball. He was running that ball and
Nah,
it
nah, nah.
wear and tear.
Nah, he took himself out there. He know he won, and he just wanted to flex.
Mm. But did you see the minus signs by his name? They
Well,
were
he
they
took himself out. The game was pretty much over already.
mm-hmm. Yeah. But it was dope though.
Yeah, no, and to be honest, like I want to get the game, but I'm so, I'm so like I'm so I don't want to get disappointed. Like
What, you
they've been
nervous?
hyping this game up for 20 years. That
Well,
the
What?
hype might.
here's what I could tell you. As soon as the game drop, go on YouTube.
Sold out.
Go on YouTube and look up all the streams because everybody's gonna be streaming it, and then you'll get an idea what it is, and you can
Hmm.
determine if you want to buy it then.
Right.
Have they announced if they're doing special editions for the release?
Yep. Yep. You got the $70 original version. Then you have the $99 version, which is the
Which
deluxe version. And then you have
a
the
Heisman?
homecoming edition. The homecoming edition that comes with the deluxe version of college football, and that comes with Madden 25, and you get the 4,600 points, the created points for both your college and for Madden. See, with the $99 version, you just get it for your college. For the $150 version, you get two games, plus you get the 4,600 for your college and your 4,600 for your Madden. Because the Madden Ultimate Team, that's what they're going to have that for. But I think they're going to have a college Ultimate Team as well, to where you can grab other people like from back in the day and all that other kind of stuff that you'll be able to, like, you might have to make the 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 elite, like Miami Hurricanes or something like that.
Yeah.
Everybody from there
And
that you want.
did they say if you create a player and you like does it and you buy that special edition, the homecoming one, that your
Hmm.
created player can transition over to the Madden game? So
All of them will. All of them will. It's just the simple fact that, let's just say I got the $70 version, right? And you get the 99 or the $150 version. You'll get it 3 days earlier than I would. So instead of the 19th, you'll get it on the 16th. I'll have to wait till the 18th, whenever, or the 19th, rather, to whenever
is
they
it
get it.
August? When does it get released?
This month, next week.
Next week?
Yes, sir.
Have they sold out of the $150 version?
Mm-mm. Mm. Also, you
But
also get the
those will never
football
be those will never
and the
be sold
jersey.
out because they're
Mm.
downloadable.
Right. You can download that right now. One of my friends, He downloaded his last month. That joint said 161.99. One of my other friends downloaded his. He had a $99 version, 107.99 with tax. All they got to do is just wait for it to come out at 12 o'clock. That's it.
Yeah.
And
So
that,
they're gonna
and
have
that's
a
going.
boomstick thing. You said like a boomstick. Is that what boomstick is? The wear and tear?
That's on Madden.
No, is the wear and tear equivalent to the boomstick thing?
Mm, good question.
What you see with Madden, because Madden, that's what they call their wear and tear function in Madden boomstick, because you can choose how hard you're hitting a player and wear them down, but it doesn't have.
Possibly, possibly. But I know I seen the Penn State Michigan. Wow. Happy Valley was very happy wasn't that happy that day. Because the entrance is exactly how they had it. Because they asked Donovan Edwards, "Is this how they really come out?" He was like, "This is exactly how they come out. This is exactly how they come out at Penn State. They nailed it to the
Are
T."
the stadiums very accurate? Like, is the
Yes,
horseshoe?
very. Yes, 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 Anthony. Yes. I'm telling you now, dog. I promise you. You can go online right now after this stream. Look at YouTube and look at the college football gameplay 25 that just dropped today. I promise you, Happy Valley up there at Penn State is exactly what it is. And
Do you
then
guys know
depending
what
on the
Donovan's channel is called
Donovan,
on YouTube?
no, it's just a stream. It's just he was just a he's the running back for Michigan. He
Oh,
was
I
just
thought he had a
playing it.
channel and he was streaming it on the
Ah,
channel.
no, no, no. He wasn't streaming it. They were the developers and everyone were letting him play it first time. And he was like, "This is ridiculous." Like he loved it. Excuse me. I mean, of course, because he was whooping the dude ass, of course. You know,
everybody, everybody enjoys when you're beating someone up in Madden.
yeah, like bro, like I'm gonna tell you right now, like the whole
Have you ever
thing,
blown out T2Y in Madden, Chris?
we never played. We
You're
never
not.
played, man. Uh-uh.
I'm not a Madden guy.
You're not a Madden guy.
I'm not really a Madden guy either. To be honest with you, I've bought Madden just to pass the time because I have college football 13 and I just can't play it right now because I don't have a 360 no more.
You
I
can
have
actually download it on Xbox. If you have a new Xbox or PS5, you can actually download the. They actually have upgraded versions of the older college football games where you can actually download recruiting classes, real recruiting classes
Mm.
from the past few years and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna jump off.
Madden.
T2Y, thanks for having me on, man.
All
Have
right,
a
no
good night.
problem. Yeah, I got Madden
Uh,
before, but I don't really play it much.
not me neither. I think Kane's football talk. I think he was trying to come in too.
I've been let him in. He's
No, I'm
in here.
already in. I'm right
Oh,
here.
he in? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, okay. I
Yeah.
just seen that
I was
message.
just listening to y'all talk.
Oh, okay.
Man, what you
What's up
think
with
going
y'all
into
boys, man?
what you think? What you think going
What you
into
said,
that? Florida
T2?
game? I say, what you think
Man.
about going into that Florida game?
Oh, I can answer that. It sounds like I might got a delay or something, but um, going into the Florida game, man, I ain't gonna lie. I feel real good going into the Florida game, man. I don't see no other reason why not to feel good about it because it's like I don't know. I just feel like we got the better team, man. It's not just being biased because I'm a Miami Hurricane fan. I'm just looking at the players we done brought in and the players we already got, and we still got the same coaching staff, so it won't be nothing new. under the sun with these players. They just know to work hard and and do what they got to do. But that's what I wanted to say, man. Because you know, I feel like this year I don't feel like I will. I'm a star. This year I'm not gonna blame the players this year because the talent is there. It's all about it. I feel like we have. I'm jumping on the Sarge wagon now. Uh, I feel like we
Oh
have a 12 and
Lord.
0 team. I feel like we have a 12 and 0 team if if they are coached like they supposed to every game. I don't see no other reason why we can't win out. Like like if we are coached the way we supposed to be, the way they supposed to be coached, them boys are prepped and prepared the way they supposed to be prepped and prepared. I feel like long as them players are doing their assignments, I feel like we shouldn't have a problem.
No, when you say 12
And
and 0,
and injuries.
did you factor in injuries on the 12 and 0?
No, that's what I was just about to say just now. And injuries, if we can stay healthy, injuries. That's the main thing too.
Oh, okay.
Hmm. Good point. Good point, my boy. Good point, my boy.
So there's
Hey.
nothing on Florida roster that jumps out at you.
Nah, nah. Nobody really like. I can't really like name nobody that jump out. Like,
Travis,
uh,
what's the name? Trevor Etienne. He jumps out at me on. Oh no, I forgot he don't play with them. Sorry,
I'm about to
sorry.
say,
Nasty work, boy. Nasty work.
yeah, I don't see nobody. I really don't see nobody. The only thing Florida, I be seeing some Florida podcasts, and the only thing they can really say is they got this returning quarterback that did good. He did throw some good yards last year and all that stuff, but I just don't see him as a
Yeah, and
threat,
don't
and I don't even see that he really. Hmm?
he only he barely threw the ball more than 20 yards.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So I feel like I don't know. I don't see him. I don't see that team, or I don't see this Florida team. Like the Florida team we played back in 2019 was way better than this team.
The only hype that I hear Florida fans talk about their quarterback is, oh, he don't turn the ball over. Yeah, because he ain't taking no shots. He barely taking his shots. He
Yeah,
barely took the ball past 20 yards.
yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, I don't see them, boy. I don't see Florida.
I
I
just
don't
I
see.
just feel
I
like
feel we about to go throw some salamanders off the wall.
uh, or as Star says the geckos. But
Geckos.
shout out to them boys because all I know is I I mean I can't stand them or anything like that. But one thing that Florida State never did was take us off that schedule. They never
Yeah,
took us off that schedule, and I will always have that respect for Bobby Bowden. Florida, on the other hand, they ran like cowards. That's how I feel about it. Now, like
yeah,
BB and Sam and all of them, they were like, well, why didn't they just keep y'all on the schedule? You know what I'm saying? I get what they saying. But the other ones is like, oh yeah, well, we didn't have time to put them on the schedule. Who you gonna put on there? Sanford?
That's
So you
basically
rather
they basically saying that's what they did because they wanted that
yeah,
extra home game. They didn't want a home and away
right,
with Miami. They wanted an
right,
extra home game so they could, get some money.
right, right. From Sam and BB, they were like, well, where's the competition? We want the competition. The other Gator fans is like, no, we don't want that smoke,
I mean,
pretty
if
much.
they wanted it as bad, they could have just made it a neutral site game.
Right.
But they'll rather just have a
yeah.
home game where they play some cupcake team like Georgia
Right.
Southern.
Right. And we see how that went.
Man, but
Barely
anyway,
can beat them.
uh, I'm gonna bring back up the shows during the weeks. Seminole Wednesday, Gator Friday. We going into getting close to the season, so appreciate y'all for
Uh,
tuning in tonight.
yes, sir.
Approaching 11 as well. It's already past 11, so I'm gonna go ahead and
Mhm.
end this thing. I appreciate y'all for coming through.
Yes, sir.
Private fans, I'll catch you guys on Monday. Like I said, next week, a lot of recruiting action. Mommy's in it for a lot of these kids, so pay attention. I'll drop videos throughout the week or whatever when we get those commitments. I'm gonna start back dropping the videos in the car and everything like that. I try to steer away for it, but I'm gonna start dropping them back. Because half the time when this stuff happen, I'm not at home to just sit down in front of the computer or in front of the camera. So I'm gonna start back dropping them videos, give you guys what we got going on. But anyways, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in, hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel, sharing the channel, hitting the Cash App and all that good stuff. Everybody on Twitter that's watching that, hit the follow button or just listen in general. Appreciate you guys. And I'll catch you on Wednesday for Seminole Wednesday. We'll talk some Seminole football, what they got going on.